to reflect on the 90 minutes, I thought the first 45 was excellent. I thought that we controlled tempo, created chances, kind of had Orlando pinned back quite a bit. Don't get that second goal that we've talked about before, and we kind of give them a little bit of life to start the second half. Credit to the guys for sticking together. I thought we were organized. In a night where maybe we weren't at our sharpest in front of goal, having scored an early goal, which can lead to, usually leads to them having a little more possession. I thought that our back four was excellent. I thought that Mark McKenzie and Austin Trusty are playing way beyond their years. You're starting to see them now advance the ball through midfield on the dribble, play through the lines, and they're really a solid partnership back there. Again, Dom Dwyer's not an easy guy to deal with for 90 minutes, and I thought they did an excellent job. I do have to say too, credit to my staff who, again, in these short weeks on Wednesdays, it's difficult to prepare teams for, however you want to write it, but in 4 years of this competition with this group, we haven't been beat in regulation in 90 minutes. So I think that we're a tough out in this competition. We take the U.S. Open Cup very seriously. The players deserve a ton of credit for their ability now to raise their level in these elimination type games. I'm really proud of the group, the staff, everybody at the club, because it's not easy to get to a semifinal of a competition. So I think it's a big step for us. Now we sit and wait. Hopefully we get another couple home games and maybe get a break in that regard. But again, two wins from lifting our first trophy as a club.
Sorry, Jim.
Jim, I know you mentioned, but Mark McKenzie had a great game today. What could you say about his performance going up against Dwyer?
Yeah, he was a beast. His ability to not just dominate physically, whether it's in the air and duels and 1v1s, but also what gets Ernie and me excited is how good he was with the ball. He played through the lines, plays passes that eliminate 5 and 6 defenders at a time. I think he had one mistake maybe with the ball, so we'll still pick on him and be hard on him because we want him to get better, but really happy with his growth. He did have a tough game or two, as any young center back's going to have when you run into, whether it's a Giovinco or Josef Martinez, week after week, there's going to be a tough moment for you, but he's responded very well, and that's a sign of a good defender. You have to have short-term memory in this league as a defender because the attackers are so talented, you're eventually going to get beat, and I think he's had a great response and has played really well in these recent games now, and is a big reason that we get a shutout tonight.
Ryan from far right.
Papa had a pretty active game. What's it going to take for a guy like that to just break out?
Yeah, I mean, I still like all his performances, what he does to a defense, the way he affects them, his work rate. When he winds up, almost running, he must have covered the most ground tonight, in terms of being on the left side, popping up on the right at the end of the game to make a play, doing all the little things. Obviously, he won the club. The team wants him to be rewarded with the goal. He probably deserved a goal tonight, but you can't fault his work rate, how selfless he was for the team, whatever we needed. I think he did a good job putting some crosses into the box in dangerous areas. It would have been nice to get a second goal, and then I think he played very well tonight.
It seems to do a good job keeping the ball for the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
How important was that to see it out?
Critical. They had a group that, some played, 90 minutes against Toronto in a hard-fought game. Some fresh faces that didn't have 90 minutes in their legs yet this year. So we knew that our fitness would play a big role. Over the course of 90 minutes, we could wear them down, and I agree. The last 10 minutes, we looked like ourselves again and kind of controlled things and made them run and chase, which is the best defense, is to have the ball. You eliminate all the helter-skelter crazy, we'll just call them MLS, last-second finishes that can happen in our league. So we avoided that, and that's a sign of a good team. It wasn't our best night in the second half, but to win 1-0 and grind with the young back line, Andre making an occasional save, is important too. Along these cup runs, there's games that maybe no one remembers, and then a nice 1-0 is in the past. Maybe it wasn't as pretty in the second half as we would have liked, but there's something to be said for the grit that the guys showed in that one.
John.
Jim, the crowd tonight was lively enough, but not as big as it could have been for a game of this magnitude. Open Cup hasn't always drawn too well.
Yeah.
You want to hear you playing it a lot. You know how big it is, how to get people camera about it.
Yeah, I think the The diehard intelligent fans know the importance of the Open Cup. I thought our fans were great tonight. Obviously, yeah, the stadium isn't full for you look around the league, and for whatever reason, it's a tough draw in the U.S. Open Cup. There's probably 5 clubs in our league now that, regardless of day of game, Open Cup, not Open Cup, rain, whatever, that will sell out every time. So, you want the fan base to get completely behind the group and watch these Open Cup games. But they're still, I think, great to watch. I think that the diehard Sons of Ben were excellent tonight. Were loud for us, but I don't have the answer for how you kind of make this competition look like the FA Cup does. I think maybe it takes time. I think there's a long discussion that would need to be had about things to get it right. But I'm not going to solve that right now. I have a lot of opinions on it, but I'll just keep my mouth shut.
Jim, the Senators in the first half looked like they were passing on Orlando pretty easy.
Yeah.
What did you see from them, and what did you like about the way they moved the ball?
Yeah, I thought their spacing first and foremost was good. I think Harris gave them a couple different looks early. The game changed because we scored an early goal as well. That can really change games. Usually you concede a lot more possession than we did, so I was proud of the group for keeping the ball even in that moment, not just bunkering in. So Harris started sometimes he split the center back, sometimes he popped up out left. And you could tell that their game plan was to be around him, but they kind of couldn't locate him early, and it gave, probably 10 to 15 times in the first half where Borak could get a ball through the lines and turn and have 20 yards to run into. I almost think we were over surprised by how little pressure there was in certain moments, so we fouled up plays after that. So, but it's a credit to that three in there, their ability to move off each other, the little patterns that we do. If Fafa comes inside and then gets behind, David, same thing, giving different looks. I think the movement was really good in the spacing, and that's what started us being decent on the ball in the first half. Second half's got to get better.
Yeah. You mentioned playing Trusty and playing beyond his year. In terms of Trusty, what aspects, or do you have any examples of the aspects or components of this game that are beyond his years that you see right now? He's 19.
Yeah. So for a 19-year-old, the physical tools are something I can't really teach. You're kind of God-given. He can head balls in terms of his leaping ability. His timing on defending headers is excellent. There's not a guy in our league that, I think as a number 9 in our league that jumps with him that I kind of worry. I think he has the ability to almost beat anybody on his defensive headers. Offensively, we're still working on him improving those, so there is still room for improvement. His ability now with his feet, because he is left-footed, to open up and make a pass to Ray or even forward to Fafa to eliminate defenders is brave. The way he does it. In a lot of cases, young players and a lot of old center backs in our league would rather not take risks. They'd rather just kick it 60, 70 yards long and live the fight another day, where he's actually playing balls on the ground through the lines and really eliminating defenders. So he has some really good tools. He has the ability to take this thing as far as he wants. Ernie and I talk about it all the time. He has the pedigree and the quality to play in Europe. It's not to say that I'm endorsing that or anything like that, because I want him here. But at the same time, he has the potential to be a player at the highest level, and that's fun to watch. It's been fun to watch his growth this year, his partnership with Mark, and there is something to be said about the two of them knowing each other for so long and really having each other's backs, because it's easy sometimes to say you have a guy's back, but when you don't really know each other that well, sometimes words are false. So there's a real bond between them, and they play off each other well, they complement each other, and I can't say enough about how well they're doing, because it's not an easy job. I'm still going to be hard on them in film and find problems and things they can always improve, because the center back is, I say it all the time, is at fault on every goal that's scored. There's something you could have done better to prevent it. So they'll still have some growth to do, but Austin is doing really well.
We'll go to Jonathan and then one more thing.
How about Ali's performance tonight? Doing a million things that nobody sees, and finally he does get the one thing that everybody does see.
I'm glad you brought it up, because he's been playing at his highest level. You talk about a professional, a leader, as a captain, a guy who has embraced a young group of players around him, does everything that does not show up on a stat sheet, carries himself the right way, runs like crazy. Even in the last 10 minutes when we switch him to run at the number 10, he's pressuring a center back, sprinting back to recover. He's an example of how you should play the game. He plays the game the right way. He plays both sides of the ball, and for him to get a goal tonight is obviously special. But at the same time, we're most happy to see Ali Bedoya playing at his maximum right now, and I think he's playing as good as he's ever played in his career. Again, I've been with him now for a short time, so I can't speak to his real younger ages at not, but I think he's playing exceptionally well. Should have been recognized for things like the All-Star game, but I continue to preach to my guys, if we have success as a group, the individual accolades will come, and by the end of the year, people will see that Ali is the best 11 player.
Thanks, guys. We're going up to Lexington.